Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over the cryptocurrency market, but I have the NASDAQ Composite Index, the 1 month chart on my screen. I'm going to put this in perspective to you because bearish sentiment on the prowl. It's getting to people's minds, right? So here's the deal, guys. If you're waiting for a bullish trend, like this super bullish trend where there's easy money, I don't think that's going to be coming around for a long, long while, guys. This is all portion of building the base at the bottom. And that can take a long, long time, as you guys are probably finding out right now when they do these types of things down there forming a bottom. Long, long, drawn out process. But I will put this in perspective for you here on the monthly on the NASDAQ. Okay. Why I think that the composite index and the S&P 500 are probably in a massive bounce going up into like a B wave, as an example, for a few more months. Okay. And then there will be a crash after that. Okay. There'll be a crash after that. That's what I project. Data is pointing towards that. Other stocks are pointing towards that. So you can believe it or not, right? So here we go with the NASDAQ. So we got the NASDAQ on the 1 month deal, okay? And we're over in this section. First thing I want to make you aware of is that you have NASDAQ cycle right here, okay? And on this crash that it did, starting in right around December 21, January 22, you can see right here, it came all the way down here and it took everything out over there, okay? So here's NASDAQ cycle. You can plainly see it. Here's 1, 2, and this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the third wave, right? And fifth of the third, back down for the fourth, and there's his fifth with bearish divergence, and boom. That probably cleared that divergence over there, guys, okay? But what's interesting, too, I wanted to make you guys aware of is that a lot of people are know about the 1987 crash. I was alive back then. I was still in school, living at home with my parents. It was not a big deal. It was just on the news, and everyday people, unless you had stocks, really didn't care. We still went about our daily business. Still, did whatever. It wasn't a big deal. It was on the news. Other than that, we really wouldn't have noticed anything. So here's the 1987 crash, okay? Right here, guys, right here, 1987 crash. Boom. It went down. It went down. Let's see, how far did it go down? It went down like 30, 35%. Let's say 35%. And we got one over here too, right? We got one over here. See, the 87 crash was a big deal because it happened so fast, guys. This is a crash to 36%, 30%. So he's about the same, right? So if you come over here, though, guys, you see this on the RSI? Look at that. Boom. You see? Look how deep it went on the monthly. And you see over here? Boom. This one actually went even deeper. Momentum-wise, the crash that you just went through in the year 2022 was a long, drawn-out 1987 style crash, maybe even worse. Here's what's interesting, though, guys. After that 87 crash, what did it do? It trended up into a three-wave move right over here for the next 2 years. 2 years, okay? 2 years. It went up 2 years. 730 days. 730 days it went up, and then it had another crash, which, by the way, that crash from 1989 to 1990 was just as bad and just as devastating as an 87 crash right there, 3-year space. Okay. So what's my point? What's my point? My point is over here, okay, is this crash that's gone on over here. To continue to expect it to do a crash is probably not reasonable. It would be reasonable to think that you're probably going to get at least a little bit of a trend up like so, and then maybe you get another one like that too. And I think that there's a good probability that be going on. Now, I'm not sure how high this is going to go on the NASDAQ, guys. It could go up a little bit higher, maybe not as much, but wherever it's going to end up, it's either going to do it back down to that same area or it could take that whole area out. But if you look at the history of the NASDAQ, guys, this NASDAQ composite, right? We have limited history. It's been around since 1974. So we have some data is that you have a massive wave 1 here, and this is a wave 2 like so. and it comes down in a crash, it goes up and it crashes again in a wave 2. And this over here, I showed a previous video, that's a wave 2 too. It's an extended wave 1. So here's your wave 1. You can see third wave peak, fifth wave, boom, here's the crash. This is your third wave, highest peak. There's your fifth of your third, fourth wave, boom, crash, and up for the fifth, blow off, okay? So extended wave 1. So in my opinion, that's a wave 2, a long drawn out wave 2 area that it was in that area right there in that RSI, guys. And it went down into a crash, it went back up and did another one, okay? Here's another one. It went down into a crash, went back up and did another one. And I have a sneaky suspicion that it's probably doing the same thing over here, guys. You know, it's going to do the same thing over here. So it kind of went down into a crash, and then it's probably going to trend back up and then probably do another one. Now, is it going to come to the box, or is it going to be even? I don't know. I don't know. We have to wait till to see what the wave is going to do. And more than likely, instead of this wave 2 being right here, the wave 2 is going to end up like right here, like that. Okay. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? What does that mean for Bitcoin? If the NASDAQ is probably going to be going up kind of like in a 3-wave move like that, it'll probably drag Bitcoin up right along with it, right? It's reasonable to think that. Now, it doesn't mean, too, that while the NASDAQ is going up at the same time. So what you want to identify in the NASDAQ for Bitcoin, as long as it is in an uptrend like this, okay? More or less, even though there'll be corrections, okay? So that Bitcoin will go up. Doesn't mean that the NASDAQ does a correction, doesn't mean Bitcoin does it at the exact same time. As long as it's in an uptrend, then Bitcoin can do an uptrend, okay? Like so. That's why it's important like that. But if NASDAQ is in an obvious downtrend, then more than likely Bitcoin will be going in that downtrend, even though Bitcoin can go up aggressively and come back down, up aggressively, come back down. Exactly. So that's my point of it, guys, okay? On the NASDAQ. So now I'm going to go into this little area on the NASDAQ, and I have projected out some stuff here that I think that the NASDAQ is doing. I think it's doing a corrective bounce right in this section, guys, okay? And so this area that it's in, right? This whole flat area is the base for a B wave, okay? Right there for the B wave, and here's this A wave, and then it's probably going to do a C wave that may last anywhere from July, August, September. It could go out as far as October. I don't know yet. So I'm going to take that off. And then in this area right here, it's finishing up its wave 1 of that C wave, okay, for this diagonal wave. And it's going to come down into another wave 2, probably a fairly aggressive crash. And you want it to be very, very aggressive and get some data here in this daily chart. Make sure that this momentum indicator gets down, okay, gets down in the daily, and it takes everything out right there, okay, just like so for this wave 2, wave 2 that it's going to do in this section, wave 2 of the C wave, okay. Now, could I be wrong? And this is all 1-2, and this is going on to a new bull trend? Very well could be, but until it proves to me otherwise, I'm going with the safer option and just prepare yourself for something like this. And then it comes up and goes into another downtrend, guys, okay? That's how I'm looking at it. Data is pointing more towards this going on than an actual bull trend. Like I said, I could be wrong. And hey, it's going to go up to new all-time highs. Now, could it go up higher? Could it go up and test all-time highs? It very well could. And could it be shorter? Just only go up to, say, right there, like where the fourth wave is. It could too. Just have to wait for the rest of this data to play out, okay? So let me take that off. I have that off right there. So it's coming up into a topping pattern. Let me take this off. The NASDAQ's coming up into a topping pattern, okay? So I'm going to make a point why this is important for Bitcoin. And this this diagonal move that I think that made 1, 2, 3, and here's a 4, landed on top of the wave 1 over there, and it's going up into another diagonal. So it's actually a diagonal within a diagonal. It's actually a 3-wave move in there, okay? So for those that don't know, I'm going to let you guys know something here. These wedges or diagonals are important. So I'm going to take this A, and here's a B, and let's say your C. So it's done, right? Okay, I'm going to put the wave on there, just like so. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it off. I'm going to show you guys something, all right? Now, Elliott waves are good to know the rules, and Elliott waves are not good to trade. They're very, very difficult to trade. People are telling you to trade in Elliott waves. Basically, most people are doing it, just by default, they're not using Elliott wave. They're seeing a wave go up and they're getting the next dip, right? So going up the dip. So that's basically what they're good for, okay? But getting the details and stuff, they can be very unpredictable, very difficult because things change. But one of the rules is that over here you have a diagonal, okay? So this move over here is a diagonal type move. So it went up in wave 1. Here's a 2. It went up into a 3, 4, touch that wave, and 5. So then you have a diagonal right here, but you have another one over here. So it went up in 1, 2, 3, 4, touch top of wave 1, and it's going up into a 5, okay? So there's a couple rules I want to make you guys aware of that's vitally important. The A wave and the C wave, they both can't have diagonals. I made this in a video. They both can't have like that, okay? So this right here is giving you a clue that this is just this is going to be a continuation over here, wherever it's going to correct to, okay? It could be very aggressive. It could be a very aggressive over here that what it could do, okay, in this section, guys, is a very aggressive flat. I think the S&P 500 is setting up to do a flat, okay, over in this section. I made a video about the S&P 500 and posted on Twitter where it could just pop up and boom, it could come back down just like so. And then it finishes that off. But my point is over here, guys, is that you can't have diagonal, or wedge, okay? It's just a very, very odd and usually does not happen, okay? You can go read that rule about Elliott wave if you want. I read it with my own eyes, okay? So I'm not perpetuating what somebody told me. I actually verified it with my own eyes. It's kind of like one of those rules that you should have in life. Trust, but verify, or don't trust, but verify. However you want to take that approach, go verify something, right? It's kind of like if somebody told you, hey, this is the law or the rule of our community, blah, 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 and you're not really too sure. You should be like, wait a second, man. Is this guy like blowing a little bit of smoke or what's going on here? So like, get that thing to me in writing. Let me verify that, right? A lot of people don't do that anymore, right? They're not using that type of critical thinking, going like, let me check that out. It's not even really critical thinking. It's just a little bit of common sense. Let me verify that. Then, not only when you do that too, what happens is that you're like, okay, is this guy perpetuating BS? Maybe I need to not trust what he's saying all the time, right? There you go. You see how that works. All right, guys. So if the NASDAQ here is going to be coming down to do this correction. Now, here's the thing, too. I want to let you, if it busts this 12,404, then something else is going on. It's like doing some sort of melt up or something like that, okay? I don't think it's going to. I think it's peaking out right there in that area at some point, and it should start be trending back down. Now, here's with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been in a correction for a month, okay? It's been in a correction for a month. The NASDAQ really hasn't. It's still been into its trend, okay? So as long as the NASDAQ over here, right? And even though it's going to do a correction, as long as it's still in this B wave trend and trending up, then Bitcoin can finish a correction soon and then start getting out of there. So here's the deal. What I'm saying with Bitcoin is this. As long as that low right there holds, and that's a very, very bullish wick, okay, on the daily chart, and you go out to the weekly, you go to the weekly right there, okay? And that's as long as it holds that low, then Bitcoin could be in this area, just grinding it out, kind of like down there and going into another trend, potentially, okay? So what I'm saying is that with Bitcoin, everybody is waiting for this 24,800, 25,000 even. They're even waiting for 24,000 flat and all these other numbers that are down there. They just might not get it, guys, is what I'm suspecting. So I'm keeping my eye very, very close on this area, on what Bitcoin is going to be doing. Keep my eye on what the NASDAQ is going to be doing. This could be a drawn out process. You got to remember, guys, here's the deal with these types of waves that are going up correctively. They like to sit in corrections and just like get you frustrated, frustration. And believe me, man, these can be very, very frustrating times, guys. That's undeniable. Waiting for these trends to develop and to go bullish. And the thing is that in the crypto market, if this is going up with the NASDAQ going up in a corrective V wave, you're probably going to have like cryptos like being very, going up into a wave real quick and sitting in a correction, going up into a wave, sitting in a correction for a long time, all the way up, guys. And people would be like, is it bullish? It's going to go down to 10,000. It goes back up. Oh, it's going down to 10,000. It's going back up. Oh, it's going down to 10,000. It goes back up. Oh, it's going down to 10,000. It's going to be like that all the way up, guys. It's going to frustrate you. Okay. That's how I'm looking at that. So, and by the way, too, man, this fair value gaps, man, I've been checking them out. Fair value gaps of everything is doing. And like a lot of people bet you they go 50% of the fair value gaps. Well, I haven't been noticing that with cryptocurrency. Just to let you know, I'm going to put something out there. I've been identifying with my own observation is that they don't go into the fair value gaps. They bounce off the top of the fair value gaps. It's like right here, boom, and right there, boom. Okay. On a lot of the cryptocurrencies, guys, they don't go into them. A lot of people suspect 50% of the fair value gap they like to go into and then boom, get out of there. Cryptos don't seem to be doing that. They don't seem to be doing that. But there is a gap up here on Bitcoin on the futures chart of 50% of this bullish fair value gap right there where I have that red line. And I do think there's a good shot that the CME futures is going to be making a run up to that 34, 35K on Bitcoin, guys. And if the CME futures is going up there, then, old regular Bitcoin will be going up there. So I wanted to put that together for you guys, what I'm looking at right now. I think it's going to be a little bit of a wait. So because the NASDAQ is going to be going into a correction. So Bitcoin, even if that was a local bottom for Bitcoin, it's still going to be going in here probably sideways a little bit for a period of time, I would suspect. But as long as it holds that low, and you have a good shot. I mean, that's a good shot. I could have done that. I'm paying attention to that, see what's be going on with Bitcoin. And then this right here on the NASDAQ, see what's going to do. Eventually get down here and start finishing up this wave sequence that it needs to do. And this wave sequence will be a wave, in my opinion, it'll be a wave two of the wave two of the wave C of this C wave like this, guys. This C wave should be going up here like that. Okay. Is what I suspect. And then the NASDAQ will be going into a counter trend rally of this wave. Put it together for you. In these areas, as I have a target, and it's going to be, that's about 61% of this wave right here, guys. 61% of this wave. So in my opinion, I think that the bears are too early. They're too early. This is the crash you're waiting for. And Dave Hunter is probably not going to be right until it gets done over here, and then it can maybe get out of there, guys. But I could be wrong too. Maybe this is all bullish and I'm wrong. Could be. It could be. Maybe that is a wave too. Keep that in the back of your mind too, guys. But I think it's better to be safe than sorry. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.